Hello everybody and welcome to Mondoid, your one-stop shop for all things Project Zomboid, and this week, Blue Mondoid. Hold on, relax, I can hear you yelling at me. Manthus, Mondoid's been missing for 2 weeks. Also, it's Thursday, so that's really late. You're right. The reason I haven't done Mondoid the past couple of weeks is because there really hasn't been anything worth talking about, and to put it simply. Not that I'm mad that they're just small news days on Mondoids, because you can't have every Mondoid be amazing. But I was looking at them, I was reading them, and I was thinking there's really nothing new here that I could discuss that I haven't discussed in length in other Mondoids prior. So instead of just rehashing things that I've said before for the sake of just rehashing things, why don't I wait until I see what the next Mondoid that's gonna have something worth talking about comes about, and then I'll talk about that one. In the process of doing that, I've totally forgotten to record a Mondoid. I totally forgot to check this week's Mondoid until yesterday when people were pointing it out, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, hey, there are things I want to talk about in this one. So here we are, Blue Mondoid, the May 11th one, 3 days ago, at the time this is being recorded, and probably the same day it goes up. Also, my headset wires were trapped under my chair. I had to fix that before I accidentally destroyed my super awesome headset. So what do we got on this Blue Mondoid? Well, the one thing that I'm really talking about, and the reason I want to bring this particular Mondoid to your attention, is the animation video. A lot of what we've discussed over the many weeks is how the new animation system is going to change things, and how it's going to change how you play, and all this other good, fun stuff. And we actually now have an animation video here for you to look at, and it's very, very interesting to watch, because just this small video raises a lot of questions. Good questions, not bad questions. More questions about gameplay, not necessarily questions about mechanics. You see character running and bumping into a wall and falling over, jumping over a fence and stumbling over his own feet. There's a sense of weight to the character that wasn't there before. All this stuff is going to change drastically how you play. More importantly, if you choose traits like clumsy and slow and all this other stuff, your character is going to be directly affected by that, by tripping over his own feet and possibly getting himself killed due to that random happenstance. Now, as I have said in the past, I don't like random tripping. I don't like random things just kind of falling over and getting yourself killed, because if you get killed, I'd rather it be a direct result of the player's poor choices rather than a random happenstance. But if you do decide to choose clumsy and all these other things that introduce this random happenstance of tripping over your own feet and stuff like that, then that's your choice and that's part of the gameplay. So I'll be curious to see how often your character ends up stumbling over his own feet through just being panicked and stuff, as opposed to picking the clumsy trait, and how many deaths are going to occur due to the fact that there is a random chance to your character tripping and falling if he's scared. I'd be very curious to see how that's going to work out. That being said, it's still worth coming to watch this video and checking out the animations themselves. The model looks very different in that it's very three-dimensional. The animations themselves look very smooth and are very impressive to look at, and it really is going to change how you play. Outside of the fact that you're going to be dealing with kind of this tripping over your feet and all this stuff, inertia, change of speed is all going to be factored in to changing in your animations and the way your character plays. So no longer can you just randomly go south and then turn around and go north on a 180, turn on a dime, no problem whatsoever. Your character needs to slow down, turn around, and pick speed back up before he can get back into full running speed. So you can't just kind of dart around like a crazy person without actually having to kind of gain momentum and change inertia and all these other things, which of course will do all kinds of different and have all kinds of different ramifications to the actual player himself and the choices you're going to end up making while, say, running from another player, running from an NPC, or running from zombies themselves. And this, as I said, will also have different branches depending on the character's mental and physical state. So panic survivors who are not looking where they're going may run into problems quite literally. While if they're unfit or clumsy, undexterous, characters may perform actions slower, more likely to mess up, fall, or perhaps fail to scale a fence in an opportune time. Think about it. You got a horde of zombies behind you. The only way out is to climb that fence. You're halfway up the fence. You made a clumsy character, an unfit character. He's trying desperately to climb the fence. He slips up. He falls from the fence into the arms of those waiting for him below, aka the hungry undead. So a lot of fun things can happen due to this new system that hopefully we'll see implemented within the game itself. Build 32, which is the next build coming out, is actually going to be bringing the tutorial back. There's not a lot to talk about here. I'm not going to dissect the tutorial. It's very much just a tutorial, but if you're a new player or there's certain things you're not understanding, I would suggest playing the tutorial first before you play anything else. It'll kind of explain some of the finer details and the finer points of Project Zomboid to those who are curious about it. And then last but not least, we do have to wait a little bit longer for the TV and radio stuff. Basically, Will said that the coders have left him in the dust, and the TV and radio stuff is not ready for Build 32. They're too far ahead at this point, and he can't catch up to the coders. So TV and radio stuff is going to go in and Build 33. And that's it. That's your Mondoid for today. Not a lot to talk about, but I really think this particular aspect right here, the animation stuff in this video right here, is well worth coming and checking it out. As always, you can read this whole blog for yourself at projectzomboid.com. I will have the link in the description below should I remember to do so. Thank you all so much for coming and listening to me ramble about this Mondoid. If you're once a week, I'll see you next week. If you're a regular, I will see you later today, maybe. And as always, I will see all of you next time. Bye-bye.